Signori, buongiorno.
Good morning, everybody.
Buongiorno a tutti. Oggi
Today,
per me, per la Juventus,
for me, for
per Gigi e
Juventus,
Giorgio, credo
for Gigi and
una
Giorgio,
giornata
it is a
importante.
special day, an
Sono il
important day.
capitano
They
e
are
il
the
vice-capitano
captain
della
and the
Juventus che
vice captain
annunciano
of Juventus.
il
They
loro rinnovo
announced
di
their
contratto
contract
con la
extension
Juventus. Il
at
capitano è oggi alla
Juventus.
14ª stagione
The
con
captain
la
is in
Juventus, ha
his
più
fifth,
di
14th
500 presenze, ha 7 scudetti con la
season with
Juventus,
Juventus, with more
una
than
Coppa del Mondo
500
ed è con noi per altri 2
appearances in
anni e mezzo
Juventus,
fino al
7
2017.
championships.
Giorgio è alla 10ª stagione
Giorgio
della
is in
Juventus,
his
ha più di
10th
300 presenze
season,
con
more
la
than
Juventus, ha 4
300
scudetti e seguirà
appearances,
con noi fino al
4
2018.
championships,
Credo
and
che
he will be
questi
with
numeri
us
da soli
until
possono essere
218.
sufficienti
Just these figures
riassumere che cosa
describe and sum up
per la
what
Juventus
they mean for
due campioni
Juventus,
come
what
Gigi e come
two
Giorgio.
champions like Gigi and Giorgio
Sapremo quindi per quello che loro
mean for
rappresentano, la
Juventus.
loro rappresentatività
They
della Juventus, esserci qua
represent
oggi
Juventus.
con loro, esserci qua oggi con loro. Loro rappresentano a
They
tutti gli
represent,
effetti quella che è la memoria
to all
storica
extent,
del passato.
the historic memory of the recent
Due
past.
persone che
They
dal
are two
paradiso sono
persons
scese in inferno.
that they were in the heaven, they got down to hell, they stayed at Juventus in a difficult period, but together with many other teammates, they took Juventus back on the pitch and in the heaven. To me, they are two symbols of Juventus. They represent the values of Juventus, and they embody Juventus style to all extent. What does it mean? The culture of work, they never give up, they are always motivated, and this way they can reach the most ambitious goals. In Juventus we always seek a single result, the win. We are doomed to win, and last but not least, they represent beyond the band on Gigi's arm. They represent leadership both on the pitch and outside the pitch. I could provide many examples of what they represent for Juventus and about the leadership they represent, but the most symbolic period maybe was the first 6 months of the 2012 and 2013 season. They have no trainer, they couldn't access suggestions and motivation of a trainer. Gigi, with his words, has always been a reference point in the dressing room with the teammates. I must say, Giorgio on the pitch is the embodiment of motivation and Juventus style. Their leadership makes the difference. In particular, I can repeat what I said on the occasion of the last contract extension. The man before the player is a loyal man, is a correct man, is straightforward. These were the same words I used 2 years ago. I repeat them again. They really represent Buffon and his personality. I just hinted of the fact that a player like him deserves the golden ball. I find it curious that there is another goalkeeper that maybe will be awarded the golden ball, which is Neuer. But I would find curious that a goalkeeper like Buffon can't win the golden ball and Neuer can. What about Giorgio? Giorgio is the example for every young player. He is the example of fatigue, of effort, of motivation. He must be an example, not for young players that want to become players. He is an example for young players who want to have success in life, because just through effort you can reach ambitious goals. His application is total. This must be thought upon when somebody makes efforts, it can be successful in life. It must be an example for all young guys. I was reflecting, I was thinking this morning, I have the privilege of putting my professionality to the service of my feelings. This is a privilege that very few people can have. What I would like to highlight here today is what we discuss today, what we present today. It's not just an acknowledgement for their career. These are two players that are still willing to win. They still firmly want to will. This is the analysis as Juventus, and that make sure we could say yes, and that make sure we could continue together here at Juventus. I share the goals that we stated on many occasions, but I share their dreams, and to make dreams come true, we need consistency. This is a value that both Giorgio and Gigi showed they have. I thank you very much.
Comincio io per problemi,
I start
diciamo, anagrafici,
because I'm the eldest among the two of us.
Sicuramente è un'altra
surely
giornata per
it is
me
another
molto,
very important
molto speciale,
day, very
molto
special day.
gratificante.
It's extremely
Credo che questi
satisfactory
attestati,
because I think
insomma,
that
di
these
stima
high
da
regard,
parte
these
del
very
Presidente,
nice
da
word
parte
from the
di
President and
tutta la società, è un
from the club,
qualcosa che
overall,
mi
it's something
rendono
that makes
orgoglioso
me really
delle
proud
scelte fatte
of the
ancora
choices I
14
made
anni fa,
14
ecco,
years
se
ago.
vogliamo proprio cominciare
If we want to
dagli
start
albori.
from
E
the
tutto
very beginning,
questo, cioè vedere dopo 14 anni
seeing
come si è
after
snodato e come
14
si è
years
sviluppato
how this
questo rapporto
relationship developed
con Juve,
with
con
the
la
club,
famiglia
with
Agnelli,
the
con
Agnelli
Andrea
family,
con Andrea in questi ultimi
and with
anni,
Andrea
è un
in
qualcosa
particular over
che
the last year, is something
m'ha formato, è un
that
qualcosa che m'ha migliorato, un
formed
qualcosa
him,
che m'ha
something that
regalato
improved me, and
delle
something that
certezze
gave me
nuove
new
come
certainties,
sportivo, come
both
giocatore
as a football
sicuramente, ma
player
anche come
and
uomo.
as a man.
In più oggi, devo dire la verità, sono anche
Moreover,
molto
I'm
contento di
very
poter
happy today
condividere,
I
ecco,
can
con
share with
un
you
ragazzo come
and
Giorgio
with
questa
Giorgio
giornata,
this very special day,
perché a differenza mia,
because
io credo che lui sia
unlike me,
un
I think
esempio,
he's
diciamo,
an
ancora
example,
migliore da
a
spendere
better example to
per
be
i giovani,
provided
perché
for
quello che ha detto
young
il Presidente
people.
secondo me è vero. Un
What
ragazzo come Giorgio
Andrea
con
Agnelli said
le
is completely
qualità
true,
di
with
Giorgio,
the
però con
George's
la voglia,
qualities,
la
but
professionalità,
with
la
the will, with the
disciplina,
professionality, with the discipline,
il carattere, tutto quello che ne
the
consegue,
character
è
and
riuscito a
motivation,
ritagliarsi un
he
ruolo
managed
veramente
to
da grandissimo protagonista, e secondo me l'esempio da
be
far
one of
vedere
the
ai
most
giovani
important
che
players, and
magari
he is the
si sentono
example
per
to be
certi
shown to
aspetti
young
figli
people, that
alcune volte di un dio
they
minore, è
can
proprio Giorgio, che col
feel
lavoro, col
a
sudore e col
bit disadvantaged,
sacrificio si
but
arriva veramente
he
a
is the
toccare e a
representation that
raggiungere
through
degli obiettivi
efforts,
magari
through
anche
hard work, you
impensabili,
can
con
reach
pieno
even
merito, ecco,
unthinkable
perché poi
goals with
nessuno regala niente a questo
full
mondo.
merit, with
Per
full
quel che mi
credit.
riguarda, queste
As far
storie
as
va
I'm
ancora avanti,
concerned, this story goes
non si
on.
sa, probabilmente potrebbe essere l'ultimo
Maybe
contratto,
it
se
could be
no
the last
non lo sarà,
contract,
poi
but
ne
if it
guarderemo, ma
won't, we will see.
non diventa più, non è più un problema
It is not a
questo, ecco.
problem for me
L'unica cosa
anymore.
che
The
interessa a
only
me, e
thing
penso
I'm
anche
interested
alla
in,
società e me, è
and I'm
cercare
think
di, per
of the
me, è
club
cercare
too,
di
I would
performare
like
ancora
to
ad alti
perform
livelli, per poter cercare di
finely,
essere sempre un valore
to try
aggiunto,
and
e
be an
poter
added value,
essere un punto di
and to be a
riferimento
reference
anche
point
nello spogliatoio, ma
in the dressing
soprattutto
room
in
among my
campo,
teammates
perché
and
alla
on the
fine,
pitch, because in the
fino a
end,
quando giocherò, mi
till I'll
reputerò un
be
uomo di campo.
a
E
football
poi,
player,
insomma,
I'll
se
be
queste
a football man.
prestazioni dovessero
If these
continuare,
should these
guardiamo, altrimenti
performances
non ci sarà
continue, we will
nessunissimo
see.
problema,
There will be
perché
no problem for me
ho
to retire.
avuto tutta
I've
la
had
massima considerazione
the
possibile,
highest
tutti gli
possible
attestati di stima
consideration,
possibili
the highest
da
regard
parte
I could
della società e
receive
del
from
Presidente,
the club, from the president.
che volevo e che mi hanno
I
inorgoglito.
wanted,
Quindi
and
ecco, io
I'm proud of that.
non
I
mi
can't
interessa,
ask
perché la Juve m'ha
anything
dato
more.
tutto
Juventus
quello
gave me anything I
che
wanted,
cercavo,
anything I was
e
looking for,
sicuramente
and
non sarà mai in debito con me. Ecco, questo è quello che volevo dire.
I don't owe any. Juventus doesn't owe anything to me. I'm a bit moved, I'm sincere. I thank Gigi and I thank the president for the beautiful words they addressed to me. I'm very proud to be here today. I think back and I think of all the people I met over the last 10 years, of all the people that helped me growing, because I became a man in this town, I became a man in this club. They made me feel home. At the beginning it was troublesome, coming from Tuscany with family far away, but they let me feel home every day. And I must admit, to me, Juventus is a great family. Here we have the embodiment of the club with the president, but I think he will admit that all the people working for Juventus, they make sure we can reach historical goals, historical results, and I can assure you that there's a big family working daily behind to help our players to reach what we all want. I'm really happy. I hope I'll make proud the club and fans till the last day I'll be playing for Juventus. And as the president previously said, this is not an acknowledgement today, but it is the embodiment of the will from everybody to reach important goals, to dream together, to keep winning, working every day, making sacrifices and making efforts. Thank you. For the president, your presence is never casual. Your presence here means these two guys are chosen for a future beyond the football pitch. Let's start writing the present on the football pitch. Then, when it will be the time, we will think about it. These are choices that we must make carefully for everybody, not just for them, but for every player who retires and that has to commit its future maybe to a club. They know they can talk to me and evaluate and consider their future journey. I would like to ask Gigi. Hello, Gigi. Why did you choose to extend your contract for 2 years and not for just one? I would like you to think of the fact that this could be the last contract of your career. What did you think about it? Let's say that I didn't sign any one-year contract, because also the previous one was a 2-year contract extension. I think this is the best way not to find yourself every 5 months to repeat the same procedure, the same journey. If there's the will from both sides to go on for many reasons, I think that the 2-year contract, especially for a goalkeeper, for somebody of my age, is perfectly meaningful. Makes sense. I mean, I didn't think it could be the last contract, but I have to consider this option too. But it is not something that troubles me or that impresses me. I live with enthusiasm, with energy. I hope that in the near future some unexpected trophies will come. But then life, faith, destiny is already written, I think, and you have to sustain your history, you have to make efforts and to actively participate in your achievement. You need courage, you need ability from the protagonist, that is to say, myself, to make sure my career will be longer. Always a question for Gigi Buffon, which is the dream you always think about? Is the Champions that sweet obsession to be conquered? Dreams. I must have dreams. I must have motivations. I want to foster dreams, but it is not a dream as itself. It's not a personal dream as in all group sports, as in all collective sports. Reaching a target, reaching a goal, and being able to celebrate with all your teammates, with the club, with the fans, is the most beautiful thing to be done. I think the biggest, the most important team acknowledgement for a club, we all know which is the trophy that embodies these feature. It is a dream. Dreams can come true because there are many variables, many episodes that can make sure you can make your dream come true or not. We know we have limits, but we have many qualities. These are difficult. These are very difficult targets to be achieved.
Scusa, dall'alto di questo tuo
Gigi,
contratto prolungamento e quindi insomma uno dei giocatori
considering your contract extension, I would like to ask you a comment about Conte's words about the lacking will of young players to make efforts. Is this the same accused you cast after the World Cup? And this day, on this occasion, I didn't think of speaking about Conte or giving messages or to young players. I think that if the manager, if the trainer wanted to say those words, it must have had his motivations. You should ask him, because I think he's quite straightforward. I don't think he would hesitate answering quite frankly to this word. I don't know what he was referring to. I wasn't there over the last days. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to ask both of you, both Gigi and Giorgio, thinking back to the past years, since there have been many seasons for Juventus, for you two. What day would you would like to live again to change a result?
Io guardo un po' a breve termine, visto che ci siamo.
I consider the short term. The regret I have is not having played the Europe League final in May in our stadium. This could have been a very important feat, an important game. This is a regret I have, and then it is part of the game, but I regret not participating that game in our stadium. We could have reached a very important goal in our stadium. As far as the last years are concerned, there's a Coppa Italia final. We lost against Naples, against Napoli. Napoli is a great team. They maybe deserved the win, but this is a regret for me because we could have made an exceptional double for that year, and then, as Giorgio said, our lacking presence, we were missing in the Europa League final last year in our stadium, and this was something that was really sad for us. We thought everything was ready to let Juventus play this final in its stadium, but we didn't make it. We didn't make it. I would like to divert from this team. Ferrari just announced Vettel. Would you like to say something about it? I think there's one more race to go to the end of the season, and then I'll be sure Ferrari, through Marchionne and people working in the management, in the sporting management of Ferrari, they have clear in mind what we will have to do to take Ferrari back on top of the world. The only thing I would like to highlight is that this is a journey that will have to start from 2016. We will need patience. Also talking about Formula One to see Ferrari back on top of the world. I would like to ask the President, coming back to the topic of these days, is it real? It is difficult for the clubs to relate with the national team. What do you think about Conte's words? I think that the relationship between clubs and the national team is perfect. We know when we have to leave players for the national team. We know when they are left back to us. Over the last 18 days, they had 15 days in the club and 30 days with the national team. They spend a lot of time in Coverciano and the national team headquarters. We respect rules, we respect dates that FIFA makes official on time, and we know that players must be left free for the national team on these occasions. I don't understand where could be the difficulties in the relationships between clubs and national teams. And this applies also for Italy, for other foreign national team. And we have historically many players in our national teams, and we are proud of that. I would like to ask both Gigi and Giorgio, do you feel like you're becoming a symbol of the history of Juventus with this contract extension? They already are a symbol of Juventus. We don't need this contract extension for them to become symbols of Juventus. The journey and the years I've spent here are a lot. Being able to embody the symbol and the style of Juventus is something, is a result, is a feeling that you breathe, staying with the fans, with the management, with those who make you feel. As I said before, being a symbol means having this kind of acknowledgement from third parties, let's say, that really make you feel as an integral part of the history of this very important club. It doesn't only depend on a long-lasting stay at one team, because maybe even if you spend many years in the same club, maybe through performances or statements, you can't also leave the mark and represent the people supporting that team. I think that this kind of response, this kind of question must be addressed to a fan, to a manager, or somebody that revolves around the player himself. I think that the thing that makes me proud mostly is that in the future years, when you will name Buffon or Chiellini, you will think of Juventus. Even if we wore other jerseys, we are perfectly identified with Juventus and with what Juventus means all over the world and in Italy. This makes you think and makes you proud. Good afternoon. A question for President Agnelli. I would like to ask you if, since Buffon and Chiellini refused, denied important bids over the last days. For me, it's not true. I don't know what is your source. Marotta said that. So maybe I'm joking. I'm just joking. Do you wish Buffon and Chiellini to be for other teammates, just like Vidal and Pogba, an example? They are an example for Vidal and Pogba. They are an example for the teammates. They embody Juventus style. What makes us proud is that when you will talk about Buffon and Chiellini, you will immediately link their names to Juventus Football Club. I think it is important to convey this Juventus style to Coman, Pereira, Morata. These young players must understand what it means wearing Juventus jersey. For example, Arturo Vidal has spent 4 years with us, and he knows what it means wearing this jersey. They have to convey this message to the youngest players. The strength of Juventus and of any team is in the group. It is not the single player that makes the difference. The single player doesn't take you anywhere alone. The real strength is in the group and in being able to represent Juventus. They have to be able to convey this message to the young players, because it is not just with the example on the pitch, but also outside the pitch that it means that you can express what means being part of Juventus. Good morning, Mr. President. You said that we will have to wait 2016 to see Ferrari back on top of the world. As for Juventus, your ambition in Italy made the difference with a very important result. When there will be this very important step for Juventus in Europe? As far as I'm concerned, I would say this year. I don't think anybody would like to wait any longer. We will always have to speak of the same topics. Juventus wants to win every competition. We are doomed to win any competition we take part in. This is in Juventus DNA, the search for win. We are not the only ones that want to win, and this is the best part of this sport. As Juventus, we are making progress to compete with other clubs in terms of ability of setting Champions League as a main target. For example, Real Madrid hasn't won Champions League for 10 years, and they started every year with the aim of winning Champions League. They started in 2004 and they won in 2014, and this is the match, and I would like to tell you that Champions League is extremely hard to win, both as potential and as personality. I think Juventus ranks among the first 8 teams in Europe. We have the ability of winning important trophies. We have many players who won World Cups, Champions League, with many international experience. We have these ability. And then luck plays a very important role in this sense. It took 10 years for Real Madrid to win again Champions League, and this is something that witnesses the difficulty in winning Champions League. I speak in the name of all the fans, in the name of the club, in the name of the players, and this is our dream. Thank you all.